Previously on Storytime.
Society views it as something that somebody cannot do. I had a very troubled home life, and it made me believe that I am below society. Like, I wasn't important enough.
And now the continued story of disabilities to possibilities.
I wanted to be at school more than anything. I wanted to stay away from home because I didn't feel the love that I should have got from my mother. And I remember going under my covers and just wishing that I would die, because this hell continued. And I thought that I would be accepted by the marching band kids, and I felt like I made a fool of myself, and that they don't like me because I was weird and different.
When did you learn, or when did somebody tell you that you had that disability, that you had a disability? I don't want to say a disability, but you had a disability. And tell us in your own words, what does disability mean?
For the longest time, what I thought was a disability was that in my reading comprehension, I had an issue comprehending certain things that had to do with reading, like essays, learning how to write them, learning how to understand what I was reading, essentially. And I knew, and in math too, so I had to be put in these classes that weren't regular classes. They were called ESE classes. And I mean, they're still called that today. But I felt like I was broken. I felt like I'm not good enough to be in regular classes, or I wasn't smart enough. And at the time, if they did put me in regular classes, I would fail them because I learned things different. And it's not that it wasn't important to me, but it made schooling even harder for me, so being separated from the other kids.
So your disability, and I'm doing air quotes, y'all, disability, fast forwarding to present day, when you had this epiphany that it's not really a disability, it's a learning difference.
Yeah.
It's finding how to learn, not being told how to learn. This current epiphany for your possibility, what brought that up?
Well, it's just a lot of researching, actually. I did some researching on the Industrial Revolution, and a little bit of that, and how going through Gaia and some more spiritual things, and just doing my own research and trying to figure out, what is going on? How did all this come? How did this system of telling somebody that they have these quote unquote disabilities in the education system, and how the system was brought about? And so from my own understanding, and there's more, and you can research it yourself, but it began with somebody that maybe like a shoemaker, right? An artisan, okay? They make this shoe, and they go to the market, and they go trade it, maybe he trades it for some beans or some rice or something like that. Or a chicken, exactly. So in the olden days, they traded, right? And then time began to fast forward a little bit, and what happened was eventually they came out with a currency, and that currency, they sold that particular artisan sold the shoes and said, oh, I'm making money. So this must bring me happiness or something like that, or even survival, at the moment, because
they might have had too many chickens and they needed something else, so they could only get it through money.
Right. So they sold their shoes, and then, okay, so if I can do this and I can make money through this, then what happens if I make a surplus of these shoes? I need, this is a lot of work, so I'm gonna have to hire people to make these shoes. So they hire all these people to make these shoes, and it's a little complicated. So he knows how to make them, but he is now become the CEO of the corporation, that whatever you want to say. He needs to have people that are educated. So he needs to educate people on how he makes this surplus of shoes. So they create something called a school, and people, I don't know if people are just randomly picked or whatever to go to this school. So they go to this school to learn how to make these shoes. And that's all the information that they learn is how to make these shoes, because this guy needs it. So the school opens to help this corporation be successful, is the way that I see it. So that happens, but they also have to provide a test to those people to make sure that they are understanding or receiving the knowledge about how to make these shoes. If not, they are considered like the lowest of the low.
They're not learning on the same level, so therefore they can't be there.
Exactly. So they can't make these shoes, so they're basically labeled as somebody that has disabilities.
Right, because they're not learning the same way as everyone else.
Yes.
So if they could have altered the learning curriculum just slightly, so those folks that couldn't comprehend the same way as everybody else could comprehend it at that point, they could have had more workers.
Yeah, absolutely. More workers, and just a better understanding that people learn different. Like, you can't, and it goes the same way. You can't talk to everybody the same way. No. You have to be open to the fact that, hey, this person is different than me. Things that I say will affect them for the rest of their lives.
So your possibilities that you're talking about earlier, and we talked about Vanessa in the beginning, a little spark of Vanessa doing Walk Like an Egyptian.
Yeah.
That creativity came out of disability.
Yep.
That you weren't necessarily lied to, but it was played to.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
When we were having the discussion. So for Vanessa, she is the possibility.
Yep.
Would you say that?
Yeah, she is the possibility, because Vanessa is everything that I did. And so being in high school, I decided going into my sophomore and going into my sophomore year, I was still in marching band. Things got worse at home, so I decided I wanted to be in more activities, so I couldn't have to deal with what I was dealing with at home. So kind of running away from the issues at home, because I felt like I was more accepted at school, if that makes sense. And then I realized, oh my God, there's groups of people and they are in these particular groups and they don't like somebody that's outside of that group. I didn't know anything about that, or society at all. So it was hard for me to understand that. I was always loving. I went in with a loving heart, and let's just face it, naive. I just thought, that I could fit in and that everybody's gonna love me and everybody's gonna like me. But that's not the case. I learned that shortly after. But, so I did marching band, I did JROTC, I was part of the Raiders, I did dance with Mr. Spector in high school. I did everything. I did musical theater. I did everything I could do to get away. But then it started to affect me more and more. Like what I was experiencing at home, all that negativity, for some reason, when people curse at me, I think that is the biggest disrespect. Because let me tell you, I've been cursed out ever since I was little. That my mom cursed at me, so now I'm going into my future thinking that people that are cursing, that's just the worst. And I lose respect for people who begin to curse at me. And that went into my relationships too. It's affected me through that. So people, like my relationships, and that they're cursing and stuff like that, I completely shut off. Like it's almost like turning a lamp off and like boom, boom, nothing. I won't talk to you. I won't nothing. But that's how I've been taught. That's how what society has led me to believe, that I am this person that has disabilities, and the fact that I am not as smart as all those other kids. So I'm thinking, oh, okay, so my parents don't like me because I'm not smart. I'm dumb. I must be really dumb. And that's what I went through my childhood thinking. Okay, so I tried to find out reasons for why they were treating me the way that they were. And I'm sorry, not they, but my mother. Why did my mom treat me like the way, what did I do to deserve that treatment, to be cursed at, to be treated like a slave? Like literally, like what did I do? Like, did I do something to you, like where you won't love me? And then I went through high school trying to get that acceptance from everyone. The love, the being accepted in the group. And then in some weird way, I was. And I created friendships. And I was like, oh, okay, these people like me. So that was my perception in high school. And I wanted to be at high school. I'd rather be in my activities and everything. Now, here's where it goes sour. I started missing school. I started getting into detention because my mom would take me out of school. My mom would call me and say, come home. You're not going to marching band practice today. I have to make up an excuse to tell my music teacher that I am not going to be in marching band practice because I was too embarrassed to tell her that my mom wanted me to come home and do laundry, to bathe my sister, to whatever else, do yard work. Like that was mostly my life. My brothers and my sisters got to run free, go be what they got to experience, actual real friendship, real connection with people, and I didn't. I was like, why am I in this house all the time? Why am I grounded? Like, I must have done something to really piss her off.
Thinking now, if you could go back in time and see little Rafi at the time, what would you tell Rafi, knowing what you know now, lived through it, been through it? What would you tell little Rafi for the future?
That keep your chin up. That you're going through all this for a reason. and that you are not given this because you can't handle it. You are given it because you are strong, and that you are going to help so many people that are going through what you're going through now accept themselves and love themselves and realize that there is nothing wrong with them, that you are capable of anything, that you are not limited, that your possibilities are endless. And even though society views you as an ESC student, that you're carrying that in your records, it doesn't define you. It doesn't make you any less than anybody else. I feel that it makes you more exceptional. Just because you don't learn like everyone else doesn't mean that you're anything less than. And that you are not an outcast. That people didn't want you to stand out. They didn't want to see your light shine. Because that's how people hold you, is through fear, and control you through fear. But you have something to give to other people, and you are so incredibly talented. You just haven't discovered it yet. That's what I would say. And that just don't think about ending your life, because it's not that serious. If you just be strong and just realize that you're stronger than you think, and you're braver than you believe. And that you shouldn't think of suicide because you have so much to give to the world. Even though that you didn't feel the love from the one person that is supposed to give you that. So I went through so much of my life trying to gain that acceptance from people and relationships, and just to find out where I fit in, who was actually gonna love me. And I didn't learn much about society because my mom never taught me that. So when I got into college, I got a dance scholarship. I was so happy about that. But it affected me then too. I thank God I finally got away from the house. I got into a dorm and I got into my dance scholarship. And I thought I would create family there and friends there. And some of the people that I did cheerleading with and that were part of my life then were in that, they were dance students. And I discovered how mean people are and how mean people can be without getting to know you or getting to understand what you're all about, and just not giving you a chance. And I felt like the world was against me through that time, and my teachers, in going back into high school, I did all these things to stay away from home. You know, it wasn't really me running away, but it was because I didn't want to face all these things, because when I was at home, I just wanted to die inside. And so my mom made it extremely difficult for me for my teachers to like me. In marching band, there was a time that I was told I wasn't going to a football game that I had to be at. It was part of why I joined the marching band. So I remember, and I did varsity cheerleading as well. And there were rehearsals that I couldn't go to that, and I had to make up excuses. So I'm like, okay, well, these people are gonna hate me. They're not gonna think that I want to be a part of their team. They're gonna look at me as like unreliable, and that's what they did. And it wasn't my fault. I wanted to be there. I wanted to contribute to what we had to offer, you know, with it, you know, through cheerleading, through marching band, through JROTC, Raiders. Like I am a strong person, and I loved everything that I was in, you know.
So do you feel the disability today or the possibility?
Definitely the possibilities. Definitely the possibilities. I see more, but it affected college, and I wasn't educated on the fact about society, about how mean people could be, and everything. I got into college, and it was the same thing. I didn't know anything else. Nobody taught me anything else. I didn't understand what I was going through high school, so why would I understand what I was going through college? I didn't know who I was still. Even maybe if I did all these things, I would figure out who I was, and I never did. All I did was just figure out that people didn't like me, and I didn't know why. So I went into, got my dance scholarship, got everything. But again, even in my dance department, people treated me like crap. Like I don't know if it was jealousy. I felt like I was a strong dancer, but again, I learned different. I learned differently, you know, and I didn't feel like my teacher was there for me. I didn't know the difference between criticism and trying to grow from it. You know, I didn't learn that. All I knew was being cursed at, telling that I'm not good enough. You know, that's all I knew, because that's all I experienced.
So everything that you've experienced has made Rafi, has made Vanessa. Your creativity, the outlet that you get to do now, no holding back on anything you want to do. What is your message to everybody out there watching this video? What should they encounter? Well, I'm trying to word this the best I can. What do you want to say to the people watching that have been through similar experience and still feel the disability and not the possibility?
That you shouldn't compare yourself to other people that you feel like are smarter or prettier or different. Because that you're made to stand out for a reason. Ashley told me this story, which is my drag mom. And she said that the people that are surrounding you that are jealous are like stones. They're like, just like brown stones. They have no light within them. Their goal in life is to make other people miserable and feel bad about themselves because they can't deal with their own inside issues. So they make other people feel like they are less than. And so they are these brown rocks at the bottom of the stream. And they're icky and gooey and covered with algae, and they're not nice people, and they're not people that want to see you flourish, and that you are actually a pretty stone. You are the glittery stone that sticks out and shines through the sunshine going in through the water, and you're the stone that sticks out. And keep that because it's important too. Because it's important that people know that we are not letting something that has prohibited us from living our lives take over. And just remember that you are always a sparkly, beautiful, you are the prettiest stone in the bunch. You're sparkly, you have so much to give, and it's better to stand out and then just be normal and boring, you know? And that I believe that each and every one of us has a power, has a light to stand out. And if we figure out who we are, and through that, I mean, you're gonna go through some life lessons, some like experiences and stuff, and then people are gonna come into your life that are gonna tell you that you are beautiful, that don't let this thing, disability, hold you back from living your life, living your truth, and living your dreams. So people come into your life for a rhyme and a reason. And I recently met the love of my life after being in relationships that put me in a box. And immediately I shut down and I ran away. And I apologize, but I've also been apologizing my whole life. I'm sorry for doing this. I'm sorry.
Never say you're sorry, just apologize. That's what I've always been taught.
I've been doing it all my life to anybody and everybody, even when I wasn't wrong. Because I didn't want people to be upset with me anymore. I didn't want people, I thought that if I didn't make people upset, that they would accept and love me and want to be my friend or consider me important. So I apologize to everyone, you know? So the exes that I was with, I wasn't able to be me, the real me. I just was this scared little Raffy inside, and I put up blocks when I experienced certain things, like people cursing at me or certain situations that brought up my memories of my mother in my past. It affected me. And then there are questions that I pondered in my head. Am I stupid? Am I dumb? This person that I'm dating is so much smarter than me. Why is he with me? You know, why does he care about me? Do I even deserve his love? And then I began to push people away because I started to stay away and to do activities that I thought that would allow me to escape, because that's all I knew how to do was escape. So I'm happy I met a man that actually has showed me that my disabilities, what I thought was a hinder, are actually possibilities. And the possibilities are, he told me that I'm not meant to do certain things, and that's okay. My brain is more right-brained. I have a huge imagination. I'm very artistic. So I look at things very differently. I have an open mind. I'm not meant to deal with logic. I'm an optimistic, enthusiastic person. I'm not meant to do with, if I don't have to do bills, because he does that. He calculates. He does things that I don't understand. But he doesn't judge me for it. He doesn't be like, oh, well, you don't know how to do the bills, or you don't do this. But those are the things that I got judged for in the past. But people never really got to really know me, to understand that my brain didn't work that way, and it still doesn't work that way. But Joseph has taught me that my possibilities are what makes me me. Thank you guys so much for listening to my story and taking the time to really open your mind and open your heart. And if you have experienced something like this, let it be your healing, and reach out to the sanctuary, because they will help you. And we have a nonprofit that we actually have as well that is inviting people who stand out, that think there's something wrong with them, that there's nothing wrong with you. You're beautiful, you're amazing. So stand out. We are gonna show the world that we are stronger than we look, and to not judge a book by its cover. So please reach out to Kevin Hodges in the sanctuary for your interview, so you can tell your story, so you can impact the world. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, so you will be notified when any of these other videos and interviews come up, that you can just share with other people that might need that healing.